Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most exciting shifts happening in technology right now, the rise of agentic AI. And look, this isn't just some small update. We're talking about a massive evolution from the AI assistants we're all used to something way, way more powerful. So, let's get right into it.
I want you to really think about this for a second. You know how we're all used to asking a chatbot for a piece of information, right? A recipe, a quick summary, whatever. But what if you could just give it the final goal, like plan and book my entire vacation to Italy, and it just went and did it all? Well, that's the giant leap we're exploring today.
So, to really wrap our heads around what's new and different, we first have to get a solid handle on where we are right now. The AI that most of us are using every day is best described as a really powerful but ultimately a pretty limited assistant.
Think of today's AI like this. It's kind of like a brilliant intern sitting at a desk. It's waiting for you to come over and give it a very specific step-by-step command. Yeah, it can write code, it can summarize a 10-page document, or create an amazing image, but it won't do any of that until you tell it exactly what you want. It's powerful, sure, but it's totally contained.
And that's the key thing, right? This kind of AI gives us incremental value. It helps us do things a bit faster, makes our workflows a little smoother. It's basically a layer that sits on top of the software we already use every day. But it doesn't fundamentally change how a business works or how a process runs. At the end of the day, it helps you do your job. It doesn't do the job for you.
And this really gets to the heart of the difference. On one hand, you've got the AI we have now, which takes a prompt, a very specific instruction. But on the other, you have Agentic AI, which accepts a goal, a big high-level objective. And that might just sound like a different choice of words, but believe me, it is a fundamental shift in what this technology can do. Which brings us right to our next section.
Okay, so if the AI we know today is our assistant, think of Agentic AI as the autonomous project manager. You don't hand it a to-do list. You give it the project's final outcome, and it figures out all the tasks by itself.
Now, this is a really, really important point. The whole agent thing, it isn't about the model being bigger or smarter under the hood. What actually makes an AI agent is its behavior. It's about its ability to act on its own, to make its own decisions, and to stick with a goal over time.
So let's break that down a little. First off, it's totally goal-driven. To get to that goal, it can break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. And this is the really cool part. It can actually operate across all your different tools. We're talking your email, your web browser, a spreadsheet, you name it, to get those steps done. And the whole time, it's learning, it's adapting, and it remembers what's happened before, so it's always getting better.
You can really see the difference right here. We're moving away from this old model, where the AI is just another app on your desktop, to a completely new model, where the AI actually moves through all of our digital systems, connecting them and directing them to hit that final goal.
Okay, that all sounds great, but how does this stuff actually work? I mean, is it magic? Well, not quite. There's a pretty logical process behind all of it, and it's often called the agentic loop.
Before we break down the exact steps, just keep this core idea in your head. At its very heart, an agent is just a relentless, goal-seeking system. Literally everything it does is designed to get it closer to that central target that you've given it.
All right, so the whole thing works in a continuous loop. First, based on that goal you set, it forms an intent and makes a plan. For our Italy trip, the plan might be, okay, step 1, I need to research flights. Second, it executes that plan. It actually goes and searches for flights. But then it observes the outcome. Whoa, okay, prices are way too high. Third, it refines its approach. It basically thinks to itself, all right, plan A didn't work. Let's try plan B. What about searching for flights to a different city, or maybe on different dates? And then the loop starts all over again.
And you know, this whole process is part of a bigger shift that folks are calling the AI action transition. It's a fancy term, but it just means we're moving from AI systems that give you answers to AI systems that can actually take actions for you. And that is a huge leap, both in terms of power and in responsibility.
Naturally, all of this power brings up some huge and honestly pretty tough questions. As we start giving AI more and more autonomy, we have got to think really carefully about what that actually means.
And this might be the biggest question of them all. What jobs are we actually comfortable handing over completely, and where do we absolutely need to keep a human in the loop?
So, the general consensus right now seems to be that full-on autonomy is great for tasks that are well-defined and, pretty low stakes. Things like analyzing a bunch of sales data or automating a marketing email campaign. But when the stakes are really high, think medical diagnoses or major financial decisions, that's where we still want the assistant model, where the AI gives you some options, but a person makes that final crucial call.
But of course, with all this autonomy comes risk. I mean, what happens when it messes up? Where are these systems most likely to fail?
There's actually a term for this, system fragility. See, an agent can work flawlessly 99 times out of 100, but the real world is messy and unpredictable. It's going to run into situations and errors it was never trained on. And the systems that don't have strong safety features or clear boundaries, well, those are the ones that are most likely to break down in ways we just can't predict. So, with all these risks on the table, the final massive question is all about control. How do we put up guardrails? What kind of rules and governance do we need to make sure this incredibly powerful technology is developed and used safely?
Well, there's no single magic bullet. The answer has to be a multi-layered approach. You need a solid foundation of clear regulations and ethical guidelines. We have to have transparency so we can actually see how these agents are making decisions, and we need ongoing oversight to watch what they're doing. And this is so important, we have to have accountability. When something does go wrong, and it will, we need to know who's responsible.
And that really brings us to the heart of the matter. This technology is moving at an absolutely breakneck speed. Pretty soon, the question isn't going to be what the tech can do. The real challenge, the question for all of us, is a human one. Just because we can let an AI do something, does that mean we should? That's the question we'll leave you with. Thanks for tuning in.